We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How did you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage and enjoy the show. Good evening, wrestling fans. I'm Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, and we have got a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a fun show. Bron Breakker, unfortunately, has suffered an injury. Will he be back by Mania? We don't know. We'll get onto that in just a minute. Plus, I have some hypothetical questions for you guys today as well, because I'm going to be fully honest, I was so busy this morning, I completely forgot to put up the questions for Mailbag Monday, so I'll come up with them instead. The mailbag, it's all submitted to me. I've been writing letters to myself this morning, but joining me today, I've got both Ant University and Clark Taylor. And out of the gate, lads, let's jump into this first topic, shall we? Because the unfortunate news broke last night during the Super Bowl that Bron Breakker is out injured. He suffered a hernia, a serious hernia, last week on Raw when he lifted the announce table up. As first reported by Dave Meltzer, since confirmed by basically every outlet under the sun, and basically we don't know how long he's going to be out for. There is hope he's going to be back by WrestleMania, but the fact is now it is clear that the program for WrestleMania was meant to be Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins, and suddenly both those guys are out injured. If Bron Breakker just underwent surgery for a hernia, he's not going to be on TV for the next few weeks. He's probably not going to be flying for another month. So there is now seriously a problem about what can they do here. Do they go Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker? Do they change the plans completely? Do they just say to Seth Rollins, hey, you're not back until WrestleMania around then anyway. How about we do this as soon as WrestleMania ends? We do, you return on the Raw after Mania. I don't know, Clark. I want to get your perspective on things out of the gates, because this has really thrown a spanner in the works today.
Yeah, it's thrown me for a loop. I mean, I didn't expect so much couch time for most of the members of the Vision, but it's been a lot since the group started as far as recovering from injuries is concerned, man. Just another brutal blow. Like, you sort of get the train back on the tracks after the Seth injury and everything, and it's like you can save face. I don't mind, actually, the additions of Theory and Logan Paul. They did a good job, the best they could after, a tough loss in Seth Rollins, right? This was very clearly intended to be something other than what it's become. But then to lose Bron Breakker on top of that, who I think at this point I would consider like the leader or like the most important, the biggest name in the Vision, it's just a huge blow for the group as a whole. I don't know what you do week to week now with both him and Seth missing. I mean, do you have like Bronson Reed step up? Do we put more focus on Logan Paul? Is there an Austin Theory story to be told? Is the Vision just not going to be on TV until people get healthy? I don't know, man. It's really tough, and I feel bad for Bron because I really think this is a year that the Mania plans were in his favor. He was going to get a big moment, an important match, a big storyline, and everything, and then to have an injury at this time of year, especially, it's just brutal. I feel terrible for him, to be honest.
Absolutely, it's heartbreaking, and this entire Vision storyline, there was so much potential here, and there still is. I don't think the group is past saving at all, but the fact of the matter is, it has been hindered by obstacle after obstacle, to the point where it kind of still feels like almost a year later, like it probably hasn't even started yet, and that is crazy.
Yeah, it does feel like there's just like a pause button since the Rollins injury, where you're just like, I'm not even sure. And the wildest part is, to your point, how long ago this was started the vision was, and it just hasn't really fully gotten off had the opportunity to get off the ground because of the injuries. I think the majority of last year plans were surrounding the vision. That the plan was for the vision to be maybe like the most featured group on WWE television.
It was meant to be, not even, it was meant to be this generation's, evolution. It was meant to be the faction of this decade that we will talk about for the next 10, 20, 30 years. And we got Donnie Da Silva in the comments here saying injuries happen. It's a tough game. He should be able to recover in 6 to 8 weeks and has the best talker ever to keep him fresh without working. That's a good point. But look, it's really difficult, sure, because how can you do this? Because obviously it was going to be the masked man kind of, battling with Bron Breakker probably over the next few weeks. I mean, you can't do that now either, can you? I mean, it's a really bad predicament they've got themselves in. We've got quite a few comments here. Katniss in the chat saying, hi, Aunt you. Ace and Jess in the chat as well. And Kina67 saying, Aunt you for Prez. And you, what do you think about all of this?
Well, most people get hurt and it takes them 6 to 8 weeks, but with his superior genetics, someone like him, you cut that down about 75%. So you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks. But then you take a guy that has the genetic superiority of a Bron Breakker, prior athlete, football player, and you cut it down another 50%. So you're looking at 2 to 4 weeks. So I figure with the superior nutrition and everything that goes into being a Steiner, or a Breakker, however you want to look at him, and with the youth that he has, being under 30, I think that's the one silver lining that we can look at with Bron Breakker on this. Cena got hurt and he was back at the Royal Rumble, came out 30 faster than anybody we had seen at that point. I think we could see something like that from Bron Breakker. Like I said, I think we could be looking at anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks with that. We could be looking anywhere 4 to 6 weeks for a return from him. It is unfortunate that, this injury happened. But as Donnie said, when you have a guy like Paul Heyman behind you that can talk and keep you fresh, there's really not that much of a setback for him. So when he comes back, he's going to come back with a vengeance. It's going to be even more chaos. I think the vision will be able to hold its own. And if there's ever a time for Austin Theory to be thrust into the limelight and put over, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to you can do a complete face turn for Bron Breakker when he comes back. You can say Austin Theory, I was the masked man. I took Bron Breakker out at Royal Rumble. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm taking everything. So there's so many angles you can go with this. I'm not saying the WWE will do that, but I'm just saying there's options that you have here for this. I think everything's going to be all right. This is not a setback for Bron Breakker. And when he does come back, it's going to be a great ride.
Let's hope so. Absolutely. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have Theory be the one to do the turn here purely because I think that then overcomplicates the Seth Rollins aspect as well. And I think it's already a bit of a complicated situation. And Donnie's got an idea here. Maybe they say the masked man caused the injury, more heat. That is definitely an option they could go for. But, where would it have happened? Are they going to say the masked man attacked him in the airport on his way to the house or something? I mean, to be honest with you, I actually wouldn't mind if they just told the truth. If they just say he hurt himself, he had a hernia lifting over that table in rage because of what the masked man did. He's still blaming the masked man.
Yeah, that's not a bad call, Ben. I like that. That's almost because it's almost pettier too. If it's like caused me to get upset and hurt myself, right? And so if Braun's gonna be the heel like that, I like that flipping it, just that little nuance there. It makes him look just like, because he was throwing a fit, to your point, right? Like that's what he was doing, right? He was having like I got robbed at the Rumble, which in some ways you could be it's weird because you feel for somebody that was wronged, but it's also like the kid at the restaurant that's throwing a tantrum where you're like, please, can someone stop this kid? Like, I'm trying to eat food, right? Like you feel bad for the kid, but it's annoying at the same time. And like, I think if you the pettiness of blaming the Masked Man for his own actions that got him hurt is actually, it's a great shout.
I don't think you blame the Masked Man, right? Like, what's the old saying? The devil you know, and not the devil you don't. So he takes all this frustration and his anger out on Adam Pearce, because he was jumping out of the ring to get after Adam Pearce. And, they could say he hurt himself when he fell out the ring. And, Adam Pearce, this is your fault. You allowed the Masked Man to come in and take me out. So I get what you guys are saying, but I think like it has to be directed at Adam Pearce. It has to be, you're the reason this happened. You're doing this, and just continue that storyline.
And with the storyline they're currently doing, that makes perfect sense. I mean, look, Adam Pearce could literally say, well, no, he did it lifting up the announce table. And Heyman keeps saying, no, it's you again. You keep doing this. You keep getting involved, causing trouble. He gets whoever it was on the phone again. A lot of options. And I do think that is the best approach. But I don't know. Donnie says if they tell the truth on TV, they run the risk of drawing audience sympathy. I don't think they do. I don't think they do at all. He, with his own anger, lifted up an announce table and flipped it over and hurt himself. I think that doesn't give sympathy at all. I think if the Masked Man took him out, that would gain more sympathy because somebody took him out. In this case, he did it to himself. I think it's the best way a heel could actually get injured. I mean, Anthony Manzano still thinks Shard's theory is going to happen and that the Masked Man is Jake Paul, Logan's brother. I mean, look, please, let's not do it. Sure. I mean, Mary says, if Braun is out for Mania, then I'm sticking with my guns for Seth to then set himself in the Roman and Punk match. Rematch from last year, but adding the world title in this year. I can't see it happening, but who knows at this point. And Fernando saying, why are we clamoring for Adam Pearce in the ring? I don't understand. I'm not clamoring
for Adam Pearce to be in the ring. I'm just saying you already have this internal struggle between Adam Pearce and Bron Breakker. And so why not continue to use it through this injury? Have Bron Breakker and Paul Heyman blame Adam Pearce for what's happening. I'm not clamoring for Adam Pearce to be in the ring. Sorry if it came across that way, but
I'll give him credit though. I mean, if you watch his ROH work back in the day, Adam Pearce could go. So I'm in the same boat as Ant, where I wasn't necessarily clamoring for it, but like if the idea was possible, I would not hate it. Like I've watched a lot of really, 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 really solid Adam Pearce matches over the years, and like, so I would have no issue with it if his health would allow it. Right? Even like Corey Graves. There's a bunch of names like that. I'd love to see Nick Aldis get in the ring too, though. By the way, speaking of in the WWE.
Well, I think that's even more possible, but I still wish that during the pandemic 2021, the Royal Rumble in the Thunderdome, I wish we had Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns then. I was so gutted when they took that match away from us. I was like, it is perfect, and they had to ruin it. It had to be a work, didn't they?
They did. I mean, honestly, I completely forgot about but the Thunderdome era is so wild to me just because it's like that would have been the perfect time to have that, though, if you could have, but of course not.
Yeah, I mean, you got somebody here saying that they would have loved to see a PS in the ring again. I mean, absolutely. But Anthony's agreeing, though, with Donnie that you're risking creating sympathy for Breakker. I mean, it's not like it's some uncontrollable hernia here, right? Like, this is a caused hernia from him. Like, real life. He lifted up the announce table and hurt himself.
He threw a temper
tantrum. Yeah, literally. Like, I don't think if you had somebody attack him, that actually draws sympathy. I don't think doing that does in any way, shape, or form. Like, I think that's the best way you can do this. They try and pin it on, try and use point on Adam Pearce. So the audience feels bad for Adam Pearce, while Adam Pearce is saying the truth, that it was, Bron Breakker did it to Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
Bron screwed Bron. Simple as that. It's not a complicated story you got to tell here. But up next, guys, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about for quite a few years now. I threw it out there as an idea actually a few years ago, but I want to bring it back up again because last night, the NFL halftime show, it drew a lot of headlines, and we're not going to talk about those headlines here today. Personally, I really, really enjoyed it. But what I do want to talk about is, should WWE at a WrestleMania, at SummerSlam, where it's quite a long card, have a break halfway through so that fans in the stadium, whatever, can go and grab a beverage, grab a drink, go to the toilet, whatever, and there's a halftime performance? At WrestleManias, there's often a performance. Why not do it in the middle of the show? Have a little bit of a break, create a spectacle, maybe have some people tune in to see that music artist perform, but stick around to actually watch the wrestling. I'm going to be honest, I really like the idea. I've liked the idea for years, but Clark, what do you think?
I've never really fully vetted that and thought about it myself. I don't dislike the idea. It makes me nervous because it really depends on the artist that you pick, right? You mentioned that there were a lot of headlines yesterday. Whatever. I enjoyed many halftime shows when it comes to the Super Bowl and whatnot, but you're never going to satisfy everybody's taste musically, and that's difficult, especially at a WWE event. As far as the card pacing is concerned, I could see you running into just a little bit of trouble where like it sort of puts like a wrench in the night, and coming out of the halftime show, you have a little bit of a downturn as far as the crowd is concerned. Just that would be my only fear. Maybe like it's like having a second opening match in the same night, and that sort of changes the way you have to pace card placement. But I don't really have an issue with it. We've seen, like you mentioned before, multiple music performances in the middle of wrestling events. I don't have a huge problem with it. But at the same time, I do think you run the risk of also the classic, like, people turning it off or changing their mind, changing the channel because they're like, I don't want to watch the halftime show, and then not flipping back. But I do think that's probably the least of our worries in that situation. I really think when it comes down to it, Ben, the answer is like it would depend on how the WWE navigated it as far as booking the artist, who, when, what match on the card it follows, and what follows the performance. But I don't have a problem with it. Even a big like music performance following night one of Mania, not a literal halftime show. That's a different concept, but I wouldn't mind that at all. Cause after night one, sometimes there's a little bit of like a, what do we do now type thing. You have the post show outside, then you set up a big stage, and there's a few different artists that fans coming out of.
I've never hated an idea you've said more. That
Really?
would absolutely undermine the main event of night one of WrestleMania. That we joke about night one main event not being a real main event. That really would kill it to put an artist after them. Nothing on a wrestling show should ever be after the wrestling.
I think you do it outside. I think you do it outside for free, like
even
you do
then,
the post show.
if you're still linking in, the main event needs to be the main event. You don't do anything of importance after that. You do a post show, whatever. If you're going to do an act, it has to be so people stay around afterwards to see more wrestling. You can't have, and that's why I don't think it should be at the start either, because if you do it halfway through, they can accidentally switch on early and see it. If you do it right at the start, I think you risk more people turning off immediately after. I mean,
you do have bands play the opening of the show in numerous events, whether it's that happens in wrestling anyway. Like you get a live song to open the show that happens already, right? Like, so the beginning of the show part, I completely understand. I was saying like more, and you can't do it like, oh, this is the headliner. It's just something to do after the show is. So I'm like 30 minutes after the show.
How would that benefit the wrestling at all?
You keep the community aspect, the fans that were in the building around the area. You sell more merch outside the building.
That's not what the halftime shows are about, really. It's about the
I understand
into the content.
It's not the same thing as a halftime show. I'm just saying it's something that you can do after night one. Like, listen, we're going to go to night one. Then there's this. I like the idea of that weekend having like event after event after event. So you have something to do with the group that you're there, basically, if that makes any sense.
Fair enough. I mean, Josh disagrees. He says it would make zero sense as there isn't a halftime. Well, that doesn't. Okay, you can call it. Wait, it is. It's halfway through. There
I
is a
think you would
time.
just call it intermission.
There is a time.
I think you would just call it intermission in general. It doesn't.
Intermission.
You're
Intermission,
getting a little bit. There, you're getting right. Like plays have intermission. They don't call it halftime. Football has halftime. They don't call it intermission. Who cares? Right? It's just it's pick a word. It means the same thing. Like
yeah.
I think the only time I don't know. I'm not a fan of doing a halftime show at a PLE. I don't know. To me, it would be a distraction. I think that if you had the bands performing entrance music, that would be super cool.
But let's say a Lady
Gaga,
she's not going to be performing. Like, this is talking about a major act. Somebody who will bring in eyes to people who wouldn't be watching anyway. Literally like the Super Bowl halftime show.
Then you're looking at $8,000 tickets becoming. You're looking at $8,000 tickets becoming $12,000 tickets at that point.
So true. That's a great point, Ant.
And
not to mention, you also have to book
would do that anyway, though.
If you have 2 nights, you got to book 2. Also, you have to book 2 acts.
Yeah,
that's the hard part too. And not only that, you got to pay 2 acts, right? That's the hard part there.
They'd pay for themselves.
You would hope.
I wouldn't worry about that. But we will have to wait and see if it ever happens. But the IWC would tear it apart, Josh says. I mean, they tear everything apart. We tear everything apart they do now, and they still do it. But I just think as a business perspective, it would work. I mean, Donnie says nobody pays to watch Supertime halftime shows. I disagree with that statement purely because, I mean, we've seen the amount of Taylor Swift fans who have paid to watch NFL games to see Taylor Swift just
so that they show her on camera in a suite. Literally just to see like what it looks like when she watches a football game. People watch a football game to see what it looks like when Taylor Swift watches a football game. Go take that for what you will, but that's just what's happened. That's true. It's ridiculous, but it is one of those things. I mean, look, the other thing is like I was at a Super Bowl party yesterday with 35 people, right? Half the people that don't watch football that were there for the commercials and the halftime show. Yeah. And they watch one game a year. Right? Like they watch one game a year at the Super Bowl for the commercials and the halftime show. So that does exist, right? That absolutely is something that happens.
I mean, I wasn't going to mention commercials because I don't want to give them any ideas, but I also do think that's going to be something
the
which
greatest
does
marketing
come into
scheme,
play.
I said this yesterday. The greatest marketing scheme in Super Bowl in all of marketing is that the Super Bowl commercials themselves are such a big deal that once a year people actually watch advertising and aren't like, oh no, ads, fast forward. It's like the Super Bowl commercials. Like they made those so valuable. It's brilliant.
They're not what they used to be though.
No, not at all.
It was a bad selection.
It was a down year. It was a down year.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a down Super Bowl.
I mean, Charlie XX singing Kit Wilson's theme. I mean, that would be incredible.
Live?
But none of them are going to want to perform Death Rebel. That's the issue here. But, I mean,
for the entrance, could you imagine that would be outstanding? Just sing him to the ring? No, stop it. That would be
Sabrina Carpenter escorting out Obafemi would be the highlight of my life.
Please make that happen.
Oh my gosh.
That is the call of the year.
Up next, guys, we do have to talk about Rusev because, let's be real, it's not Rusev Day anymore. It hasn't been Rusev Day for quite a few years because since he left WWE in 2020, he had 20 matches in AEW in 2021. In 2022, only 4 matches. In 2023, only 6 matches. In 2024, no matches. Then last year, he returned to WWE, but only had 19 matches. And quite frankly, it felt like less because almost none of them were of any importance. And so far in 2026, he's had 3. I don't know what they're doing with Rusev, but since he's returned, it's felt like there's absolutely no plan for him. And Ant, I want to ask you, does he deserve better? Does he deserve more TV time?
No one deserves anything. And maybe I'm old school with that, but nobody deserves anything. You know, you get over, you earn what you get. It is what it is, right? Like, Rusev Day was huge for him, and he should have fought to come back to Rusev Day because that would have got him the pop that he needed to get over with the crowd. He wanted to come back as Miro. He wanted to come back as the Destroyer, and it is what it is. Rusev Day was great. Rusev is, like Donnie said, Rusev is a talented worker. We know Rusev is good. Unfortunately, with him being off TV right now, I hope they're putting something together for him and give him one last run. From what I've read, that's what they're doing with the Street Profits and all that stuff. But the picture of Montez looked a little chunky. I like it. It's Balkan season, you know. You know, they're sitting around just eating snacks, getting all fat and sassy. So I'm cool with it. But no, nobody deserves anything in this industry. And that is the beauty of this industry. You go out, you work, you get a chance to get over. If it doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board. A lot of it has to do with the writers. And if you get a bad break, you get a bad break. You pull a Cody Rhodes, you pull a Drew McIntyre, you go away, you work on it, you get better, you come back. Or you go away, you stay away, you just work. There's a lot of opportunities to wrestle in these industries. There's New Japan, there's AEW, there's TNA, there's Ring of Honor, there's all this stuff. So no one deserves anything. I don't deserve to be on this platform. I work to get up here. I am appreciative that you guys allow me to have a platform to talk to these people. And I said these people because you're these people. So I am extremely happy for that. And,
well, I mean, that's
awesome. What we have.
I mean, look, here's the thing, though, with Rusev. I just believe, and it's not just Rusev. They've done it with a few people they brought back now. But if you're going to bring somebody back and you're going to put them on TV, you need to have a plan for them because otherwise they are destined to fail. Because I don't think since his return, I just think the entire way, to your point, they brought back Rusev was silly, but they never even properly explained this new character to us. They gave us a 30-second vignette, which was during the ad breaks for most people on Netflix. That was how they explained the new character. It was destined to fail from the start.
The highlight of the return was him scaring the little kid that touched him by the guardrail. Right. That's like the one memory I have since he's been back to WWE.
No, I can't say that. The feud he had with Sheamus was great.
Oh, that was solid.
The matches they had are always solid. Will forever be solid.
That. Yeah,
hard hitting. Those are well, I mean, you guys obviously don't watch the product enough. Those matches were hard hitting, and they were classic Rusev Sheamus matches.
They were, but the feud felt so unimportant. That's why I don't remember it. It's because it wasn't.
Because Rusev's character came in when Cross's character was leaving, and Rusev's character seemed like a Timu version of Cross's character, and everyone cared about Cross when he was leaving out, and it was like you know, like when Homer melts into the bushes. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like Cross was melting into the bushes, and then here was Rusev coming out with trying to be the same character.
I don't know if I'd say that, to be honest. I think Aleister Black was the one who was stealing that.
No, Rusev. Yeah, the entrance was.
I mean, Aleister Black stole the entrance. He repeated a promo he said almost word for word. I mean, I don't think Rusev stole anything there. They are two very different characters.
If you come in and the first thing you do is beat up Tozawa, you're not going to last.
I was skipping
not wrong there either.
I was skipping the Rusev matches to get to the halftime show and the commercials. So I missed those.
Oh gosh, we got Biggs in the chat. Donnie agrees with Ant You. Kaina67 says Rusev needs a manager, and he says that this is a perfect example that the grass isn't always greener on the other side, or the side you were on previously. Poor Rusev. Yeah,
Kainer's 1,000% right.
Yeah,
because if you bring it, like, she doesn't have to say a word. If you have Lana sashay her way down to the ring with Rusev, and she just looks at him and does that, that's all she has to do. Doesn't have to say a word.
And
Instantly
he just
over.
snaps. He goes back to his old ways. Oh, I'd love that.
Guarantee.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, it's an easy match made in heaven there. But up next, guys, I want to talk about tonight's Raw, because talking about Tozawa, Otis and Tozawa weirdly have a tag team title opportunity. And I was scratching my head thinking, why on earth are they doing this? And the only possible thing, well, it's not the only possible thing, but the only good thing that I could come up with is that Jey Uso is going to turn heel, and they want Otis and Tozawa to be there for it, because they know fans will react negatively if that happens, because they like Otis and Tozawa. They'll feel sorry for them. And there's no real other tag team right now on Raw they could turn heel against to get that reaction. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but at you, should it happen? Should Jey Uso turn heel? Is it time?
You love giving me Jey Uso topics.
I do.
I love this. I love this for you. I don't care what Jey Uso does. Jey Uso can pull a Rusev and leave TV for the next 2 months, and I wouldn't bat an eye. I hope they lose the tag team titles tonight. I'll be sad for Jimmy, but it'll give Jimmy a chance to go off and find another partner and hopefully win them back. So Jimmy can be tied with Jey for as many tag team title runs. I know Clark says that all the time. That's my adult call for that, because it irritates me too. Should Jey turn? I don't care. Jey should turn and run it back and walk out of the arena. That's what he turn. He should just leave Jimmy to fend for himself. If Jey wants to get a heel turn, leave Jimmy in the ring by himself. I guarantee the match will be better than watching Jey huff puff trying to climb up the ropes to yeet for another 8 minutes and 37 seconds as we try to get a match going. And hopefully their entrance is during a commercial break. So, Ben, you can watch it, but guess who doesn't have to see it? I don't have to see it, because I live in America. So, with all that being said, I don't care.
Well, Chandler, so you really feeling?
Show in daily history here. Like, we need to have a commercial break ourselves here. I haven't discussed advertising this much since college.
we need a halftime show just to give us a breather, and there's only 8 minutes left. But fair enough, Ant. Honestly, I mean, it is a good point. I feel for Jimmy in terms of not only has he not won a world championship, he also has one less tag team title reign, like Clark says, like you just said. I mean, that is unfortunate. But Clark, what do you think? Does Jey Uso need to turn heel tonight, whether it's both the Usos or just him?
See, I think he has to turn heel at some point. I would love the idea that Ant mentioning the one more title thing I like to bring up all the time because it just bugs me to death. I would love the idea of Jey holding that over Jimmy's head. Like, dude, remember, I'm the leader here. I've got one more title reign than you. That would take more time than just tonight, I think. But I also really do want him to turn heel. Yeet is still over. You can see it in any building. I mean, the whole Philadelphia 76ers were doing it on the bench during the game the other night when they were playing the song in the arena. And kids love it. People love it. People love the song. People love to do the hand thing and all of that. Sometimes, though, I think we wait too long for stuff like that to get stale before we make a change. And while we're, while it's still pretty hot, all things considered, a heel turn right now, I think, would be that much more effective because it would be that much more devastating, right? Now, the merch sales aspect of it is still a big deal. This is the same conversation we have about Cody Rhodes turning heel, right? You put that at risk because Jey Uso, Cody, CM Punk, they're all in that category right now, duking it out every night in every arena for who's going to sell the most stuff. So you do risk sort of taking a dip when it comes to that, but from a purely storytelling and character standpoint, yeah, I would really like for a Jey turn to happen sooner rather than later.
I mean, the other potential thing you could do, and I wouldn't like this, I don't think they're going to do it, is if, Jey Uso turns around during the match today What is this?
Donnie with the comment of the year. I have to, Donnie, that is the comments of the day. You deserve an award for that. That got me so good. They just flipped the song.
Imagine Jimmy's.
Jimmy becomes the one that eats. That got me so good.
That would be hilarious. That would be
We
absolutely
change haircuts
hilarious.
too.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the other thing you could do, I don't think they will do this because they've already done it with this dynamic, but it obviously wasn't a turn, is if you just have Jimmy turn on Jey because he's gotten jealous of him, and that's how they try and get people behind Jey Uso again by making them sympathetic towards him. I don't really think it would work. I don't think that's what they're going to do either, but it's a weird match tonight. It really, really is. Like Otis and Tozawa, what have they done to deserve this opportunity recently? As a viewer, I don't understand it. I like them both because I've watched them for years, but like if I'd only watched since Raw went to Netflix, I'd be absolutely stunned today as to why this match is happening. Like they won one number one contenders match, and that's the only match I think they've won in the last 5 years together. It makes no sense.
The wildest thing to me about Otis is like, so you have heavy machinery with Tucker. That's a logical tag team. Everything about it is very tag team. Then you have that breakup to no payoff, and then Money in the Bank. Then the team with Gable makes perfect sense, right? They're posting all the videos working out on Instagram at in Gable's gym and all of that. The chemistry was logical and all the backstage segments. I mean, we got Shoosh out of it, which was hilarious while it lasted, of course. And you're like, okay, logically, Gable and Otis makes perfect sense as a tag team, and they're clearly really good friends. And there's like, no. Like, let's make Gable a luchador and give him to Zawa. That's what I'm thinking. What did Otis do? I don't understand.
I can't actually remember when Tozawa came into the whatever it's.
It was about the same time as Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
It was about the same time.
Yeah, Chad Gable pulled him in.
Yeah, it was just like he wasn't there one week and then he was there the next. And it was
Doing the
very
little silly
flippant
dance.
segment when it happened.
They did like one segment and he just stayed. Yeah, he just never left. I guess I'm with them now.
So look, if I could put my writer's hat on for a minute, this is the way I would do the Jey Uso turn. I would have the Usos just retain tonight and keep it as is. But I would have like subtle things from here till WrestleMania of just every time the Usos get a win, Jey just starts looking more frustrated and more irritated. Jimmy's having the time of his life. He's back with his brother. They're having a great time. You know, Jimmy's cutting promos talking about being a dad and how he can relate to his brother about being a dad and all this great stuff. And then WrestleMania comes around. You know, Usos have a great match against pencil in someone, and they get the win. And they celebrate, and then Roman takes on CM Punk. Roman defeats CM Punk. The Usos come out to celebrate with Roman. As they're celebrating, they all put the ones in the air, and Jey Uso clotheslines Roman Reigns right there. And he just beats down Roman Reigns, and he picks up the title, looks at it, throws it at him, takes off the tag team belt, throws it at Jimmy, and walks out to the "it's just me, Oos, day one," and he stops yeeting. That's the way I would write it. And then
that would be incredible. Yeah. And I don't think they'll do it, but like you said, like,
well, of course they won't do it because it makes too much sense.
Yeah, it's too logical. Oh man.
I also think then though, like if you're gonna do a turn to end night 2 of WrestleMania, that's got to be your next story for the next 12 months. Jey Uso would have to become the top heel in the company. And I don't really want that, to be honest.
Well, I mean, they love Jey Uso. And Donnie made a comment earlier, you know, saying he wants to make sure he buys me a ticket for when Jey Uso wins the World Heavyweight Championship.
Will he win it again?
And you know what?
I don't know.
As much as I don't like Jey Uso, it's because I'm a grown man and I'm not supposed to like Jey Uso.
He's not for us.
I'm not supposed to. But
I don't think
but
Triple
when you
H
see the
likes
looks,
him based
but
on
no,
Unreal.
when you see the looks on the kids' faces when he comes, like that's what it's about. It's not a, it's about me watching the program and enjoying it, but it's not about me. It's about little Jimmy. It's about little Jimmy sitting there offbeat, throwing his hands up and down, having the moment of his life that he can go to school and tell all his friends, I'm on Netflix yeeting with Jey Uso, and you're not because your parents are broke and couldn't take you to Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. It's about the little girl that sits there that high fives Jey Uso when he's talking backstage or when he's talking in the ramp and he's about to come out. It's about the middle-aged guy who's sitting, it's the middle-aged woman who's sitting there whose heart is just fluttering because Jey Uso is right next to her yeeting in the stands. That's what it's all about. And he continues to do that and he's excelling at it. So I do believe that he is going to get a title again.
Then then you lose that though.
No, it's not.
No, because you can bring it back later.
Because let me tell you something.
It's difficult. It's difficult to get the same reaction off kids the second time round.
Those Samoans.
But what if they just get new kids? They don't have to show the same kids.
If you wait enough years, you buy.
Yeah, you wait enough years, you can get new kids.
But he's not got time in his side age-wise, though, does he?
Those are running out of kids anytime soon.
Those Samoans have a chokehold on the female population of the WWE. I mean, we can deny it all we want, but they do. And
I'm going to be honest, I've never heard it about Jey Uso before. I've heard it about Roman Reigns, not Jey Uso. I've never seen any of those posts.
You're not listening. It's all over the place. They love some Jey Uso. I don't know why he got beard gut. His gut looked like mine, but they love Jey Uso. It's the tattoos. It's the edgy haircut. It's the gold grills. I don't know. Cool stuff. Like the bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh my! I just look at him and cringe, honestly. But look, I mean, what's actually going to happen is just going to be a normal match tonight on Raw. The Usos will win.
They're just going to have a tag match.
They probably will do a yeet break during it for Otis and Tozawa join in as well. And that'll be it, really. And it'll be in the middle of the show, and this entire segment was a waste. But thank you guys for watching, and we really do appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk Monday Night Raw. Thank you, Aunt You. Thank you, Clark. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Happy Black History Month.